Hey Lucas, what's up?
Hey Joey, nice to see you here on Skype. How are you doing?
All good, man. And you too?
Yeah, it's quite stormy here in Amsterdam
Yeah.
today, but
You survived the
I
wind.
managed, I made it to my studio and to my laptop. So
Okay, awesome. So you're safe. Yeah, let's
yes,
start off
yeah, are
with
you
a.
safe in Tilburg as well there?
Yeah, definitely. Everything's okay. It's kind of stormy, but I'm fine. No worries. Let's
Great.
start off with a small introduction from your side. Can you tell a little bit more about yourself and what your profession is?
Well, thanks for asking. I'm working as A&R manager for Bmkltsch Records.
Mm-hmm.
Bmkltsch Records is a label of Mike Magoo, who has many hits on his name already, and yeah, I'm pretty much working there full time. For myself, I have a background in DJing, event organizing, and producing
Mm-hmm.
under two alter egos, mostly in Amsterdam and around the Benelux, as well as in China.
Mm-hmm.
So from that perspective, from that point, I rolled into the A&R
Cool.
vacancy that was tipped to me by Mike himself.
And you knew him already
Um,
from your own career, or?
Well, one time I was booked at the same party as him, and I was playing after him, and yeah, we always stayed in touch. He's a super nice guy, so yeah. So at one point, he put out this vacancy for A&R manager.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm going ahead right now or.
No. Tell a little bit. Yeah, tell a little bit more about your job and how you got the job, and that's probably the story you're gonna tell right now.
Yeah. Well, it was actually maybe you know Mason, DJ
Mm-hmm.
Mason.
Yeah. From Excedo,
He
right?
exactly, yeah. I talk to him sometimes online, and we do some bookings sometimes together as well.
Mm-hmm.
And he was asked by Mike if he knew someone, and so Mason tipped me to Mike, and then Mike started talking to me. And next thing I know, I was sitting in an interview at their office,
Okay, so it's all
and then
set up by network, actually.
actually it was, yeah. So I was actually quite lucky. And he told me he had like a lot of replies already on the vacancy or on the job application, but no good ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, pretty fast after we chatted, we signed a contract.
Cool. And you do this full time right now. It's a full time job.
It's 2 days a week, but in
Okay.
the end, yeah,
Yeah, you're.
I'm always available, and I really love doing it, to be honest. So
Yeah, and in the music
it
industry, there
doesn't feel like
isn't.
full.
Yeah, and in the music industry, there isn't exactly like a 9 to 5 mentality. So yeah,
Exactly, yeah. I love being online as well, and well, everything pretty much goes online,
yeah,
even though we do have an office.
yeah. Is it also in
But
Amsterdam?
yeah, Amsterdam North.
Okay. And
Yeah.
tell a little bit more about China, because you mentioned China before that you've had an internship there, or.
Well, my master is Chinese economy and business,
Mm-hmm.
and when I was at the phase that I was doing my master thesis, I figured I didn't want to do any economic kind of thing. I just wanted to focus on my hobby, on my music.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote my thesis on electronic music in China. I visited like 8 or 9 cities to see how the electronic music scene was going there. It was 5 years ago. So I went to Beijing, Shanghai, Chengdu, Chongqing, Shenzhen, Kunming,
Sounds all the
Hangzhou.
same to
Yeah, and all
me.
these, yeah, all these cities with 20 million people.
Yeah.
And I got pretty integrated into the scene there, and mostly the techno scene, I have to say. And I met a lot of people, and I stayed in touch with them. And right now, I'm going there quite often. Also,
Okay.
I'm looking for a new talent from China as well,
Okay.
but
And
it's
is it hard for you
fun.
to have like that language barrier? Because I can imagine that Chinese people don't speak English that well.
That's true. It used to be. I always have like people who can translate,
Mm-hmm.
like Chinese people who speak well English. The apps that you use there, like WeChat, and yeah, I don't know the name of it. It's a Chinese name. You can just speak in English, and it gives you back in
Really?
Chinese. And if you, I don't know if you heard about WeChat. It's the
Yeah. It's like the big brother of WhatsApp, actually.
exactly. It's like Swiss Army knife of apps, indeed.
Yeah.
It's like it's all in one app, and if people talk to you in Chinese, you can translate it right away, and you can reply in English, and they can translate it to English.
It's actually weird that we still don't use it here because it's way
It's
more
yeah,
advanced than
yeah,
WhatsApp.
it's true. Yeah, it's a fantastic app.
Yeah.
Although it's been controlled by the Chinese government, so I can understand the
There's
privacy
yeah.
issues most Europeans have here.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. And about your job, you're an A&R manager at Bmkltsch Records. How does your
Correct.
day-to-day look alike? Like what kind of things do you do on a normal day, on a normal office day?
Well, believe it or not, I check every demo that we get in the mailbox, and I really listen to them. And I don't discuss every demo with Mike, because Mike is the boss, of course. I make a selection which I take to the A&R meeting, and then I start looking for. I'm looking for a lot of tracks on Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud, any channel, a Western viable channel you can mention. I just look and listen.
Yeah. So you just randomly click throughout profiles to check if they have something valuable, or
headphones on, and just all day long. That is one part, of course. And then when I find an artist I think is interesting or already has a little bit of a profile, I try to mail the artist personally, or his manager, or his booker, or whatever, and see if they're interested in doing a booking.
Oh, cool.
And once in a while we find that we get a demo which is just mind blowing, and then we talk about it, and we A&R. We try to like change the track a little bit as well to give it that typical Bmkltsch sound. Which we're working on a couple of tracks right now as well. And sometimes a track is just like ready to release. Yeah.
Okay, so do you prefer, because you mentioned sometimes you sign a track, but I sometimes I hear labels say that they prefer to sign an artist for a long-term deal. So let's say 5 singles a year, or an album a year, or whatsoever. What do you prefer? Is it better for you to do single releases or to sign multiple singles?
Well, right now, the only artist that often releases on our label is, of course, Mike Magoo. We have a couple of artists that have been at the label before, but we don't have like a steady flow of this is our policy, this is how we roll in that sense.
And no exclusive licenses as well.
We do have some publishing deals running with a couple of artists. With Runners, I believe. He had a release like 2 or 3 releases ago from Armenia. A really cool release. Really talented producer as well. But furthermore, we just we keep on looking and trying to find the right sound at the right time.
Okay, and do you also take a handle of the agreements, or is that somebody else? You just spot the music and that's it?
Well, it's our label manager who does the contracts, indeed. I see the contracts, but I'm not really involved in them. I do help with the promo, and I talk to the artists that I sign. I coach them, and we set up a promo plan, and I set up the in-flight promo package. I put it onto our. I list it on our online distributor platform. Sends it out to the DSPs and the shops, etc. Okay. So I'm also a little bit involved in the administration, which is fun, to be honest. Yeah,
I liked it as well, actually. That's one of the second things I wanted to ask. The other things that I want to ask you. What's the thing you like the most about being an A&R manager?
Well, it's. I don't want to say it's hectic, but you never know what's going to come. But that's always in nightlife and in music, I guess.
Yeah, it keeps on evolving.
It's exactly. It's really an emotion you are working on, which is if you're a mathematical person, it doesn't make sense. But it's always the feeling that grasps you in a track that makes you want to sign it. But then, your opinion is subjective to. Or you have to respect everybody's opinion, right? And everybody has its opinion. So one person might like this track a lot, another person might not like it at all.
Yeah.
So you have to negotiate about it, right?
And how do you do that properly in the A&R meeting? Then you negotiate about, okay, I really like this track, and then maybe Mike says I don't really feel it or whatsoever. But what's the ultimate decision for you? The ultimate decision maker for you guys to end up signing a track?
Mostly. If we hear the track for the first time, we all have something like, "Wow, this is awesome," and then we just
unanimous go.
Yes, mostly it's like that. Sometimes I don't agree with all the tracks that Mike comes up with, but that's vice versa the same. The average tracks make it. Some average tracks make it to the A&R meeting, but mostly don't make it to a signed contract.
Okay.
And because we do get a lot of demos, and we really check all of them. But yeah, the quality really differs. Although I'm always kind of impressed by the very high quality of demos we
Yeah,
we
that's
get.
true. Yeah, but then
It's,
actually, most of the
wow,
time when you find out where they actually are producing, it's just their home studio, and you think like, wow, okay.
exactly. Yeah, it's amazing, really. Yeah,
It
I'm
it it,
impressed.
it
I
has
have
become so
good
easy.
strength. Yeah, exactly. It's become easy, but then yeah, if it sounds right, it sounds right. That's my philosophy. Just if it sounds good, and it sounds good.
True.
If my ear accepts it, I guess.
If it works, it
Um,
works.
exactly. Yeah, it sounds stupid, but it's there's no formula for that.
No, it's true, and it's the same thing with quality. A lot of people always discuss about quality, like what's quality music. But I always
Yeah,
say it to artists, like you're not the one who's gonna decide what quality is. The market will decide it for you. The moment you will put it out, people will decide if it's good enough.
yeah.
And the fun thing is producers. Oh wow, I almost trapped. Uh,
Mhm.
but fun thing is producers always go really deep into the sound design, you know, like it has to sound well and has to be mastered well. But the
Yeah,
fun thing is that a lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
hits sound really shitty, but the melody is just really catchy
Exactly.
and the vocal
That's it.
is there, you know. So I
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of producers just go too deep into the details, in my opinion.
The the nerd kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. In the end, all
Yeah,
the
just
producers are kind of nerds.
exactly, just like DJs, because you have to, yeah, figure out how the software works, right?
Yeah, it's just technical nerds actually.
Indeed. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And when it comes down to the release, like how many time do you spend working on like the visual part of it, the release artworks and stuff?
Well, we have a very clear home brand,
Yeah,
say that, een huismerk.
yeah, it's a brand. Yeah.
Yeah, the home style,
Mm-hmm.
which is we have like a rock, a gem, and we put a hand inside that, and we have our designer who every new release comes up with a new type of stone, and yeah, we really try to focus to make it um, yeah, consistent with all the
Yeah.
rest.
And is that because you want to stand out and you want to be recognized in some kind of way? Like after 10 releases, people will recognize the way you do it with the stone in the hand.
Good question. I've never thought about that, but
Hmm.
I guess the answer is yes. But that's a decision that hasn't been taken in my outside of my
Just a feeling. Okay.
research. Yeah,
Okay.
but I guess yes, because it's really recognizable.
Yeah, I liked it. It's really clean
Kind
and
of
it's really unique actually. So it's great,
nice.
great artwork.
Yeah,
And also the promotion.
that's
You
all. That's all. Our label manager Yasmin, who is
okay?
responsible for that. So
Okay,
gotta
so
give her
how many people are working there on the label?
4.
4. It's
Yeah,
pretty much. Um, regarding the promotion, because that's a part you do as well, right?
a little bit. Yeah,
You mentioned in
I'm starting to do that. Yeah,
okay. You mentioned in flight. That's a third party promotion partner.
correct. That is the yeah, that's the promo tool. That's
Yeah.
the email tool we use to send out emails to other DJs and radio and whatever. Yeah.
Okay, so you send out to. Can you take us to that system? Like, how does that work? You put in the music and an email file probably, and then they
Yeah.
send it out as well, or
Well, we have like a big mailing list of A plus DJs. Yeah, as well as radio hosts, as well as influencers, blog hosts, etc. So we send out a first mailing there when we have like the text, like the artwork and the release date is set and everything is like fixed from our side.
Mhm.
We have the package ready, and we send it out, and we wait for feedback. That's for promo site. For one promo site, then we have another. We have some. What we use is some English promo. Yeah, I don't know the names. I don't know if I'm
Fedrop?
able to say. No. Fedrop is the same as InFlight. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say
Oh,
the
the
names
PR
of the
company.
channels we use. The PR companies,
Ah,
exactly.
yeah, okay, yeah,
I don't know if that's a secret
yeah,
or not.
no problem.
But we have like 4 or 5 of these companies who help us promoting nationwide the tracks, mostly
Yeah.
in England where we're most active. Then we have
They
some
help
in
you getting on
Scandinavia.
blogs and stuff, and yeah, reaching out to
Exactly.
influencers. Yeah.
Yeah. And we are setting up a system where we can do that more of our own, though.
Okay. Oh, that's smart because
Yeah.
do you also have a lot of one-to-one contact with influencers or blog owners or?
Well, more and more. That's the goal to be more in touch personally with those curators, etc.
And do you think that's important? Because I really believe in that kind of way, as in it's way better to have personal contact than just pay somebody else like a PR company to do it for you. Do you believe that as well?
Totally agree with you. Yes, you see that the most important part right now is getting Spotify plays and getting in the right playlists, getting onto the right channels on YouTube, getting the right premieres at the right channels on SoundCloud. As for Western type of platforms, it goes. So yeah, the more personal contact you get with the curators from Spotify, the easier it gets. Yeah, and so we really try to build a personal relationship with that. It's tough, but
I think it's way better because it's way cheaper because PR normally is the highest cost in your release.
Yep. Normally. But then you see the difference. We have like high priority releases and non-high priority releases, and you always see the difference when we put more PR, promo, etc. on track. You always see the benefit of it. Yeah. Of course, an exception confirms the rule, but generally speaking, the plays are higher and it gets picked up better, and more DJs are charting it, and
so promotion is worth a while, actually.
Yeah, definitely. We take about a 4 or 5 week period for promotion.
Oh wow, that's pretty long.
Ahead
of the release,
prior to the release, yeah.
Okay, cool.
So we all have that. We have like schedule, and for the coming 4 or 5 releases, it's like really set out already.
Okay, and do you believe that, like you've mentioned now, that you the promotion before the release date, that's 4 or 5 weeks prior to the release, but do you also continue doing promotion after when it's being released?
Yeah, on the planning we have 2 weeks, like with dates always pinned after the release, social media stuff, and like pushing personally. Like Mike has, of course, a big network, so he pushes tracks like personally to his friends or colleagues, how you would name it, as well as sometimes for example with Remedy is Mike's latest hit. I think we just passed 6 million plays on Spotify.
Oh wow!
At one point we figured we could try to pitch it at 538. To see if they could market or crack it. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, it's a big radio station in Holland, and they have this program called Deal or No Deal, actually, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then listeners can vote to deal or no deal, and it got voted as a deal. Cool. So we were quite happy with that, and then we talked to some American PR companies to push it a little more in that area. But that was all after the release. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not the same at every release. Sometimes we try something new. Sometimes we rely on our existing promo platforms. It differs.
Okay. And looking at the music industry right now, like you do.
Still active.
Sorry?
Yeah, sorry, there was a delay in there. Never mind.
Okay. But looking at the music industry right now, a lot of things are happening online, of course. Almost everything's happening online, and sales have been going down, streams have been going up. What are the things that you think will happen in the next few years in the music industry? Like, how would you see the music industry evolve?
Well, first of all, this is an opinion of mine. Actually, I think it's a very good case that more and more people are starting to make money again with music, and that is mostly because of the DSPs, the direct streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer. But then there's a lot of these type of platforms. For example, I'm quite knowledgeable in China. In China, there's 6 or 7 like major platforms. Streaming platforms. Yeah. QQ, NetEase, Xiaomi, and some others. But they're all different companies, right? So all these companies are trying to make money. So ideally seen from my, how do you say that, my blue sky point of view, I'd say there should be one platform where all music can be found throughout the world.
Yeah.
Spotify is a company, it's a Swedish company. And then QQ is a Chinese company, and Deezer, I don't know what type of company. It's a French company, exactly. So it's a business, of course, but for the sake of the users, of the listeners, of the music lovers, it would be better to have like one global platform.
That could be a good one. And do you think about the Chinese market, because I haven't been diving into that one pretty much.
Okay.
Do you think, I recently, like this week, I recorded a video about that people shouldn't only focus on Spotify producers, because everyone's just putting up their caps and going on Spotify, but they are forgetting about all those other platforms out there. I have actually never heard of TQ or other things in China because I just never dived into it, but I can imagine that it's pretty big over there because there's a lot of people living there.
Yeah, for example, QQ has 700 million users, and of which 20 million are paid users. So if you dig into it a little bit, there's a lot of business articles saying that the business model that Chinese DSPs use is actually way more profitable than Spotify and Deezer and Apple.
Yeah, and that's why I believe that people should make
what the difference exactly is, I can't tell you, but
but I think people should release on multiple platforms, because of course you can be on Spotify, but you can be on TQ at the same time. It's not a problem.
Yeah, but then there's still the piracy in China, which is still a growing business to get over.
Okay. Last question, and that's a question that I got from my Facebook group from a producer. His name is Jaowa. I don't know. I think it's Jaowa. And his question is, what's the most important thing? His question is, what's the most important thing to a label? But I think he means, what is the thing that you look really specifically at as a label when you find when you're searching for new artists? Yeah,
I think for new artists to find us, the best way is to try to get in touch with the A&Rs personally in any label. From my own experience, I remember sending tracks to Demo Act Spinning. I never got a reply. Okay, maybe my track was not good enough. I don't know. Probably. But as I noticed that if you are personally in touch with the A&R manager, you always get a reply, and it's always somehow it works better.
It's better. And what's the best way to do that? Like, is that Instagram direct message or Facebook Messenger or just personal conversations or?
Personal conversations. Like at ADE, we always have our booth at Demo Drops. We're going to be at the dance fair in Utrecht with the stand of Bmkltsch, listening to demos of aspiring and already producers that already have a name. Because then the point of contact really helps. You always remember the person. Nevertheless, I do listen to every demo we get in the music at bmkltschrecords.com mailbox. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, great advice. I really believe that as well, that personal contact is still the best way to get in touch with someone. And it's fun because the question that I asked you recently, like how did you get the job, I always ask them to everyone, and everyone tells me the same. It's all about networking.
Really?
It's all about knowing people, and they have to know you, and that's most of the time how people end up getting the job in the music industry. So that's fun.
Just keep on going there and keep on showing your face, and at one point they'll recognize you, and
exactly. That's just how it works.
Exactly.
Cool, man. Well, I want to thank you for your time and for all your knowledge, especially the part about China, because that was really new to me.
Well, if you want to have a chat about that in private, I'm always up.
Let's do that. I will be at Dance Fair as well, so let's meet up there. I will be there on Saturday, I guess.
I'm only going to be there on Sunday.
Oh, maybe I'll be there on Sunday as well, but I first have to do a masterclass somewhere else. But maybe afterwards.
Nice.
Thanks again, and good luck, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Joey. Thank you as well for this nice and fun interview.
Sure,
and talk
no
to you soon.
problem.
Right,
Bye.
cheers.